One. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Joe with Christina and Brooke. Today we're talking about a topic that really resonates with me as a perfectionist who beats herself up more than she should, especially when there are big changes in life happening. And so, today we're going to talk about perfectionism. Is it perfect? And stop beating yourself up.
You know what's so funny, Christina? If I can just take it away from you real quick.
Please.
I want this to be perfect. No. I did this assessment called doitscared.com. I never thought I was a perfectionism, ever. I thought I was a procrastinator and doing things, shooting from the hip type person. I did this assessment and I became a procrastinator and a perfectionist. So I was like, how is one a procrastinator and a perfectionist? This doesn't make sense to me, right?
It makes sense to me.
And a people pleaser. Okay, so those are my three things.
Oh, you're a PPP.
I'm a PPP. I'm a P to the third power. So how, right? So I realize in my work and working with others with ADHD, we are perfectionists, but our perfectionism is what causes us to procrastinate on other things because we can't get done the things that we want to get done, whether it be sleep, whether it be spending time with family, whether it be exercising, eating healthy, establishing the routines that we want, watching our show, whatever it is. So it doesn't have to relate to like getting your work done. That's not what I think of when I'm trying to say this. But yeah, like it really resonates with me that you can be a procrastinator when you are trying to be perfectionist. And the weird relationship between the two is I think that a lot of people who are perfectionists are trying to avoid procrastination. So where do you go from there?
5 years ago when I was working on my dissertation study, the best advice I ever got from my dissertation chair is, Christina, a good dissertation is a done dissertation. She's like, get over it being perfect. And so I've almost gone too far in the other direction sometimes. I'm like, I don't care, just do it, get it done, because after those 25 tasks that you have listed, there's gonna be 25 more. So it's not gonna be perfect. Go. But then I lose out on detail and making sure that it's perfect. But once I start going in that direction, I get overwhelmed because I'm like, there's no end to this and I want it to be done right. So how do you find that balance with getting things done and also making sure they're done well?
Totally get it. And that's something that a lot of my clients struggle with and I struggle with sometimes as well. But I think it's a matter of like really knowing yourself and feeling confident in your abilities. Is what you're putting out there aligning with your values? Do you know your values?
Ooh, good point. Right. Like what's worth the extra time and attention versus what can go.
Guys, you are nailing it. You guys are nailing it. And this is great because I think we represent a really interesting, we each represent interesting places on like the continuum of perfectionism, right? Where we all struggle with it. I think all three of us struggle with it. It's at the heart of a lot of our conversations outside of what we do with Morning Joe. And yet I see myself as being on like the less side, the side closest to not, but still being on that side of it, right? Like it is a continuum. And the two things that you guys are mentioning that I think are so perfect are the concept of balance and boundaries, right? That finding that balance between am I giving this enough versus too much? And using the idea of, well, what is it taking me away from, right? Every 5 minutes that I spend worrying about this, what is it that it's taking me away from? Yeah. I think is key. And the visual that my brain keeps going to is like an artist, right? These real world famous artists, whether you want to look at like historical people, like, or like the Renaissance artists or even modern day artists, they will work on a piece to the day they die because it's never perfect. And each of them has to come to a place of understanding like, good enough? Question mark. I think so. Question mark. Ellipsis. ... I'm moving on. I'm done. So I think for us to bring us back a little bit full circle to to answering the question of like, well, how do we do that? How do we find the balance? How do we draw those boundaries? I think it's continually coming back to the thing that we have not shut up talking about in each of these videos, which is outlining our priorities. Like, what are the things that matters to us most? And as we're finding our perfectionism kind of bleeding into life, that's cool. Is that perfectionism bleeding into places that are leading me more towards my priorities or taking me away from those things?
Wow,
So
Joe.
if you're like, if your perfectionism is kind of impacting you and it's really taking a toll on work, but your priority is to like be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, maybe that's not a problem. But if
Right.
you're trying to be more present at home, you're trying to be a better parent, a better spouse, and that's your priority, and the perfectionism is bleeding into an area that isn't that, maybe that's the barometer for I'm going too far. I'm going too much. I'm out of balance.
Yep, Joe, you are hitting the nail on the head. I just came off of a call with a doctor, mom, single mom with a son, and we just had that conversation. Not only is it what you value, because those are adjectives, right? But like your priorities, right? So your nouns, is it your family? Is it your friends? Is it your activities? Is it your work? If it is your work, then fine. It's no big deal. Like some artists, that is their priority. So they will work until the day they die, like you said. And if that's what makes them happy, truly, then good for them.
And they likely won't experience it as it taking away from other things that they want because that's the thing that they want.
Right.
Exactly.
So it's identifying what those things are.
Exactly.
Like that's the starting point. I feel like we've been talking about that since like the first video,
Yeah.
is identifying who are we, what are we trying to do? Because it's different for Christina, it's different for Joe, it's different for like, what are the things that we're trying to work towards? Because that will help us understand what that looks like practically and whether we're going towards or away from that.
100%. And like, you really need to know thyself first before you can start trying to organize your tasks. Because so many people come to me and they're like, okay, I need help with time management. I need help organizing my to-dos, blah, 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 blah. But do your to-dos align with your priorities? Do they align with your values? If they don't, then why are you doing them?
Yeah. If they don't go, to bring Joe's point home, on that canvas that you're designing for your life's work, then why are you doing them?
And what would your life look like if you didn't do them?
Yeah. What would the canvas look like? The canvas
Yep,
of
the
your life.
canvas.
I'm all about the canvas. Joe, love that. That was so genius.
Canvas,
That's
yes.
really, really good. So my canvas is making sure that education reaches every child in the way that's most effective for them. I don't have to solve that tomorrow. That's my life's work. Am I moving in that direction? Yes. Am I doing the things that matter to make a difference there? Yes. Okay, so does it matter that whatever insignificant thing in moving to that goal hasn't happened today, yesterday, last week? No, we're doing the things that will get there in the life's canvas.
And I think that's something that we've fully embraced as a group and in our conversations, is hoping that these things that we're talking about lead people to a place of being comfortable of asking big questions of themselves, of their life, of their experiences. And if this is it, if this is the catalyst for that, if this is the catalyst for being like, yo, I'm spending so much time here. When I look at my priority list, that's not on the top 3. It's not even in the top 5. Then maybe that is a good place to arrive, or that's a good way to arrive at the place of asking, like what Brooke said, should I be? Why is it on the list? Does that cause me to reevaluate my life situation, my home situation, my work situation, my fun situation, my social situation?
All those pillars, yep. The
Goes
pillars,
back to the balance wheel, right, Brooke?
exactly.
Beautiful balance wheel.
Yep, it's funny. I had my first adult ADHD 3C activation group last night, and they started off with the balance wheel. And one person said, "These are the pillars of life," and I said, "That those are the pillars of your life, but that doesn't mean that's the pillars of Joe, Dick, and Tom over there."
Yeah.
Just because this piece is important to you doesn't mean that has to make up their life too. So you can alter it based off of what's important to you.
today, which could be different tomorrow.
True.
So much.
Oh,
All right, we're going to throw that right out there for you all today. Just chew on that for your Sunday. Picture your canvas and your life's work and keep working towards it. We'll add some resources for you in making your not perfect life your happy life. Thanks, everyone. Happy Sunday.